What's up, horror fan? Welcome back to the channel. So we have some good news and we have some bad news. Good news is Vicious is still a film that we hope to be getting. Bad news is it doesn't look like we'll be getting it in 2025, at least not based off the information we have from this article. So Vicious, Dakota Fanning, Bryan Bertino horror film removed from Paramount release schedule. Paramount has removed the Dakota Fanning, Bryan Bertino horror movie Vicious from the 2025 release schedule. Now, this is, again, not good news, and it's unfortunate news because as the article goes on to talk about, we were supposed to get this film in early August 2025. They bumped it up significantly to February 28th, 2025, and then just as of a couple days ago, it has been removed from the studio schedule altogether, with the quote saying the studio is looking to find a better date for the film. Now, I think we can all read between the lines here on what that typically means, and it's pretty par for the course when someone tells you, or someone tells a big studio exec, hey, maybe it's time to go spend some more, time with your family. Your services are no longer required here. Pretty much you've been fired. And it feels like if you read between the lines, I'm not saying this, obviously the film hasn't been fired, so to speak, but if it's been removed from the 2025 schedule altogether and the excuse is that we're just trying to find a better date for it, I have a feeling they either don't have confidence in the film, they are either going to look to possibly sell the film to another studio to release it, or they're going to probably just try to push it right to streaming. They do have Paramount Plus that they could always just release it directly on. So it makes me also then wonder at what confidence level they have in the film. Again, if they bumped it from August to February, and now they're saying from February 28th, 2025, we're not going to release it at this point, and we're removing it from our schedule, again, with the excuse that we're trying to find a better date for it. We know 2025 is going to be a big, heavy horror film year. We already have covered this many times in some of our daily episodes, and even some of the specific films we've done trailer reviews and reactions on. We have, I think, counted almost up to 20 films, whether they're going right to the theater, streaming platforms, what have you. About 20 films are going to be released between January and February, possibly even into early March, horror films. That's a pretty big number for the first 2 months of the year, and that doesn't count all the subsequent legacy sequels in general that we're going to get throughout 2025. But just within that first 2 months, that's a pretty heavy schedule for horror films, which I'm excited about. I'm glad that we're getting that many horror films within the first 2 months. I'm glad that it's going to be another heavy year just like it was for 2024. So I'm hoping that the horror films just keep coming. With this one, it was pretty sad to see that it got bumped from. I'm okay with, actually, you know what? I'm okay with it getting bumped. I don't have a problem with that because we still would have gotten it. But the fact that it got bumped from the release schedule altogether thus far with no date in sight that's the disappointing piece for me. Now, this article just goes on to just briefly talk about the casting, what some of the other films Bertino has worked on. And many of you may recall, one of the films I've mentioned that I absolutely love is The Strangers. And now this is the original film, the one from May 2008, which Bertino did direct. He did do this story as well. Now, he did do the story, or at least the first version of the story for the sequel to Strangers Pray at Night, but that film, or the script, I should say, was rewritten by Ben Kataya. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it was rewritten. So how much of it was truly his or remained to be his in that sequel, it's hard to say. I've mentioned it before. I love The Strangers. It's one of my favorite horror films in general. Now, The Strangers Pray at Night, I didn't care for. While it did have its moments, it was okay for what it was. It just still didn't hit right for me. It was 10 years later after the original, so that might have played a part into it with such a large gap between sequels. But we have gotten Strangers Chapter 1, or The Strangers Chapter 1. We got that in May 2024. So not even 5-6 months ago. And we were supposed to get Chapters 2 and 3 this year. That didn't happen. Now we're supposed to get Chapter 2 in early 2025. And with Chapter 3 supposed to happen sometime in 2025, but not exactly sure if that's going to be middle or towards the end. The article just goes on to talk about some of the additional work that he's done and what other films he's worked on. I have a feeling, though, if they're not going to find a date for it now, odds are Paramount is just going to say put it right to the streaming platform, maybe for additional content on their platform, because we know they're not looking to sell out to anybody else. They've been looking to keep their platform separate from everybody else. There was talks earlier this year about them potentially combining with another streaming platform, but that didn't happen. And I think that was just probably one of the biggest rumors that we had as far as, again, these streaming platforms joining forces, because the CEO came out and clearly said, no, we're comfortable with where we're at. We're comfortable with our subscribers and the numbers that we're pulling in. So we're going to remain as a standalone. And if that's the case, maybe this is an opportunity for them to say, if we're going to remain a standalone, then we need to push more content there versus sending it to theaters and then waiting to put it on our platform. If that is the case, then I wish they would just come right out and say it versus, not giving us a date for 2025 at all, because I would imagine hopefully by the summertime we would get more information about this film, and maybe they'll just put it right to streaming, because the film is ready. It's ready to go. It's just a matter of giving it to the audience. Fingers crossed that we'll see it in 2025, but it doesn't look like it's going to get a theatrical release at this point. Best hope is we see it on the streaming platform on Paramount Plus. So if you have Paramount Plus, keep an eye out for it. If not, then we will let you all know once we know more. But it's unfortunate news that it got 2 date bumps and then now it's pulled directly from the schedule. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this update. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Do you believe that we will get this possibly sometime in 2025, or do you believe it might just go to Paramount Plus? All right, everyone, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.